on the screen right now. So, man, I just love it. I mean, visually, it's one of the best, right? Something that doesn't get talked about enough in the horror community is pacing, right? And films from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, especially in the bigger ones like Nightmare on Elm Street and the Friday the 13th and the Halloweens and whatever you may have you, right? Those films kind of in that era were kind of really slow, right? And so with the 2009 version, I thought it was a breath of fresh air to the franchise, right? Because from the main, starting scene, the opening scene, you're straight into the action, right? Where you're recapping what happened to Pamela Voorhees. Then you're going over kind of what happened to these group of campers years ago or whatever. And then you go right into another story. So there's like three stories being told all together. And I thought that it was done beautifully, right? I thought that it couldn't have been any better storytelling wise. Cinematically, it has this kind of, I don't even know, this scaling, this coloring to it, where it's kind of almost like the films from the early 2000s with TCM and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the other one that came after that. So I think, in my opinion, it looks good, right? I think that it looks damn near, again, one of the best in the franchise, in my opinion, visually. And the kills as well. I think the kills are really good in this one. There's some homage. It pays homage to the first three films with some of the kills, especially part three. It has a lot of part three references in there. So I do enjoy that. And Chris, I think his name is Chris Chrisinger, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. I'm going to go ahead and double check on that. But I think that he did a really good job as Jason Voorhees. Now, obviously, my GOAT for Jason Voorhees is going to be Kane Hodder because, again, it's Kane Hodder. He's the GOAT when it comes to Jason Voorhees. But next to him, I have to give it to Chris Chrisinger. And I'm again, if I'm, butchering his name, I do apologize. But I think it's the best iteration next to Kane Hodder. Also, the 2009 reboot was directed by Marcus Nipsel. I got my facts out here, guys. Who also rebooted the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003. So that's kind of where you get that coloring from, right? It was the same director who directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003. It's not a direct remake of the original. It actually blends elements of parts 1 through 4. And of course, we got Derek Mears. That's who it was, not Chris Chrisinger, Derek Mears. Derek Mears as a very different kind of Jason. Quick, ruthless, and survivalist. So keep that in mind as we watch it. So yeah, this Jason was different, right? Previous Jasons were kind of video game like, right? Like it was really, a force of nature, right? He didn't really get hurt. He really didn't get touched. This Jason was like, okay, I'm ready for battle. I'm ready for war. Whatever you guys want to throw at me, I'm here for it. I'm fast. I know how to survive in the woods. I've been living in the woods my whole life by myself. I think that this Jason was the most realistic Jason. All right, so right out the gate, we're getting a recap of Pamela Voorhees and the original kills. Loves when a reboot respects the source. Now, this reboot definitely respected the sources on this one. I mean, there are Easter eggs, homages that are paid to the other films in the franchise. And then you have the original storyline with Pamela Voorhees. So that storyline is still relevant, although it's remade just a little bit. And the opening act is pretty much a mini slasher movie, right? So you have these group of teenagers who are camping at Camp Crystal Lake, and then just shit goes to fucking hell really fucking fast, right? And then it transfer over into the new story. But again, it was gritty, it was campy, and I loved that the tone of it was set fast and hard and in your face from the start. And again, if you're watching live stream, we're going to get your guys' comments. We just got to get through this video. The cast, right? I thought the cast was really good. Trent is one of the all-time hated douchebag characters in horror history. Now, I've done a video on Trent. He has made my number one most pleasurable deaths to watch in horror history just because it was Trent, right? Trent was such an asshole in this film. And I think there was some other, Danielle Panabaker was in it. I thought she did really good. We know her from Disney Channel, so I thought it was really good. Now, Jason attacking everyone else besides the opening, I thought was amazing. You have some amazing shots of Jason stalking the new group of kids. I think this is the best one when you get close-up shots of Jason. It is a movie that you can just turn on any time of the day and just check it out and watch it. So what is your favorite kill from the franchise? My favorite kill definitely has to be Trent's death. Trent's death, it was just so deserving to him, and it was so brutal. It was so quick, and it didn't, honestly, Trent didn't deserve a long death, right? He deserved something quick, something brutal, and that's exactly what Jason delivered on. It's way better than people give it credit for. Is it the best of the franchise? I definitely think it's the best of the franchise. But it's still up to debate. You have older fans that say, this isn't what made Friday the 13th great. Friday the 13th was based off of like summer camp and being with your friends and, watching the camp kids and being a camp counselor. That's what some of the older fans think, right? But the newer fans are like, we didn't really go to summer camp. We didn't have that experience as a child, right? All we had was, groups of friends who took road trips together. That's our generation. So I thought that having that Friday the 13th Camp Crystal Lake mixed in with elements of Texas Chainsaw Massacre where we take a road trip and then we stumble upon Jason Voorhees, that was really fresh. I like that idea. But as always, that's just your Hellmaster's opinion. What the hell do you Hellcats and Hellhounds think? Do you guys think that the 2009 Friday the 13th is a good movie? Do you think it's the best in the franchise? I for sure think it's one of the best in the franchise. But again, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? We're going to go ahead and get to your guys' comments. Hell Queen Jazzy is in the building. She says, hey, Hell fam. Anthony says, Sleeping Bag Kill was absolutely insane. Cody says, my favorite of the franchise is Adrian and Jason X, the face frozen and then smashed. That was a good one. Anthony says, yes, Friday the 13th, 2009 is the best of the franchise. I mean, if we're being completely honest, right? No biases, right? It has to be the best of the franchise. I mean, Derek Mears, I apologize for saying Chris Christinger. I think he was the one in Freddy vs. Jason. But Derek Mears just brought something totally different to the franchise. Something that has not been replicated since or before, right? Even though I love Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees, he wasn't no Derek. Derek made me terrified of Jason. Kane Hodder built the mystique, the myth, the legend of Jason Voorhees, while Derek made it a reality. If you find yourself in front of Derek Mears, Derek Mears is Jason Voorhees, that is, you're not going to survive. You're not going to fucking survive. I mean, that's just facts, right? But again, it's one of my guilty pleasures. It's something that I've seen in the horror community. People talk about it over and over and over again, how it's such a good film, but does it stand the test of time? Is it the best of the franchise? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it is the best of the franchise, hands down. I mean, I don't see any other, unless you get kind of, where you're not being honest with yourself and you're kind of playing favorites. I mean, I love part 3, right? I love part 3, but it has nothing on Friday 13, 2009. Cody says, this is the meanest Jason, hands down. Exactly. And that's what I love about this Jason. It is great. I love how brutal he is. I love how just manic he is, how just, like he said, survivalist. He's a survivalist in this. He's been living in Camp Crystal Lake for years, right? So he has learned the insides and the outsides of Camp Crystal Lake. And that's what I love about this Jason, right? He's cerebral. He's like a cerebral assassin, if you will. Shout out Triple H. Cinderella's in the building. What's going on, Cinderella? I knew you were going to show up for this one. We were talking Friday the 13th, 2009, and we're asking the question, is it the best in the franchise? And I got to say, I think it is. But, Cinderella, I need to know what you think. Do you think that the 2009 version of Friday the 13th, the reboot, well, I guess it's a reboot. It's not really a reboot. It's like a reboot remake. Do you think it's the best in the franchise? And I know how big of a fan you are of the Friday the 13th franchise, so I need you to answer that question for me, sis. I really do. Let's see. Cody says, however, I still can't forgive this movie as much as I love it for killing Jenna. She was a way better final girl than Whitney. That is true. Now, I will say I didn't really want to get into some of the flaws in the film, right? I didn't want to do that because that's not what we're here for. We're not here to shit on films. We're here to bring them up, right? But no, seriously, I didn't want to do that. But you're right. I do think that they made a mistake on the choosing the final girl. Almost like Halloween. I don't want to bring it up because it's a Friday 13th stream, right, of 2009. But almost like Friday 13th. Not Friday the 13th, Halloween 4 and 5, right? How Rachel should have been the final girl, right? Like she should have been the final girl in 5, but they ended up killing her off early in 5. She survived 4, so that's very reminiscent, right? That's very reminiscent. Anthony says meanest in the most realistic. Facts. Cody says a better ending would have been if Clay ended up dying and Jenna and Whitney survive. Okay, I see you, Cody. Cinderella says, love this movie. That weird girl Kylie says, love the Friday the 13th remake, and I think it was the best in the franchise. Cinderella is my favorite. It's part 4, but I love the remake. Anthony says, there are rules, Cody. Only 2 survivors. 3 are too many. That's an idea right there. Should there be more than 2 survivors in a horror movie? I mean, you can see Scream, right? But then again, we're just going after Sidney Prescott. But again, I think it's the best in the franchise. I don't see it getting any better than this. Again, I have my favorites, but this one, if we're being completely honest, guys, it's the best. It's the best. For real, it's the best. But that's just my opinion. But before we get out of here, I have to say what's up to the executive hellions in the chat. I see you guys down there, and you guys know the rules. You guys know how we do it here. We always support our Hell fam in here. So before we get out of here, I want to play some videos for the Executive Hell fam. And if you want to join the Executive Hell fam, all you have to do is screenshot the screen right now, and the very bottom QR code will take you to our Patreon page where you can sign up. We have $1 tiers, $5 tiers, $10 tiers, and $15 tiers if you want to join the best watch parties in horror, really. I mean, it's the best watch parties in horror. And if you want to get some giveaways and just get some really cool, intimate moments with your Hellmaster, join our Patreon. Or if you're like, look, times this hard day, I can't really afford that, but I love you and I want to support what you do, the other QR code is the Cash App, and that is where we take donations, right? We usually, a lot of the other streamers, they have support as far as, YouTube monetization and Twitch monetization and TikTok monetization. And what we do here, guys, it's kind of not really liked upon the big corporations of, copyright, right? We show a lot of movie scenes here. We like to get real intimate with you guys, have music playing. And so because of that, we're actually not able to make money through these companies. But with the support of you guys, we can definitely build something here. And all you have to do is join our Patreon or support us on Cash App. But back to the Executive Hellions. I see you guys in the chat. And the first one here, I believe today, was the one and only Cody. And me and Cody just did a live stream last night. It was a really fun live stream. And not going to lie, Cody is one of the brightest minds when it comes to not even just, horror, just cinema. And I just really have to give him his flowers right now. But Cody and I was talking about a film last week, right? And it's not horror, but it has horror elements to me. And definitely if it could be remade, it definitely could be a horror movie, right? So I think that we should show a clip of this movie. I know Cody's like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what movie. We talk about so many movies. What movie are you talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a blast to the past and check out one of my favorite guilty pleasures of, you probably didn't think your Hellmaster watched this growing up, but I did. Great movie, great cast. Someone you're going to recognize from a certain franchise, if you will. She didn't make it long in that franchise, but she was in the franchise, and we're going to show that film. You guys are probably thinking like, "Day, hurry up and show it." Well, I got to get it pulled up here, guys. And once I get that pulled up, we will be golden and we're ready to go. So, Cody, thank you so much for being an Executive Hellion in the Hell Zone. Thank you for all that you do for the page. You don't know how much you mean to me. I tell you this on a daily basis. I don't think you really understand the love that goes to you, my brother. So this is for you, my brother. This is from the, what year? I don't even, 1999. Jesus Christ. We're getting old, guys. We're getting old. But this is from the 1999 movie Jawbreakers. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
That was no way to wake up on your 17th birthday.
For me? Yeah, right. You'd have us killed. Literally maimed, my dear. So what are we going to do to her? We're going to take her and stuff her pretty face with pancakes. Then we're going to tie her to the flagpole and her...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was for Cody. Thank you so much, Cody, again, for everything you do. Again, underrated film. I think people really forget about Jawbreakers. It is definitely underrated. But we have one more executive hellion in here. And she's my favorite. She's one of my favorites. I can't say she's my favorite, but whenever she pops in, it's always a great time. And I just love that she's here. She recently went to Universal. She recently went to a Comic-Con where she got to meet David Howard Thornton. So super excited to have my hellion back in this bitch. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about May Ann, and she's probably like, what scene are you going to play? Honestly, sis, I'm pulling this one out of the woodworks, and I hope you remember this movie, and I hope you like this movie. But if you don't, I do apologize. But for you, Cinderella, for you, we are going to play. Cody says, I killed Liz, and I killed the teen dream. Deal with it. You got to love it, Cody. You got to love it. But May Ann, for you, I hope you've seen this film, and I hope you like this film, because if not, I'm probably doing bad at my job right now. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's take it back to 2010 with the film The Devil, and it is Satan is Revealed. Oh.
Yeah, I do. I should never have left. It's my fault. It's all my fault.
You think you can make some kind of bargain?
Take me instead, please. Stop saying that!
You think this will make you good? You're not good.
I know.
You think you can make up for the choices you made?
No.
You think you can be forgiven?
No.
You gotta love it. You got to love it. And again, another underrated blast from the past. I love it. Techno Wizard says, you gotta respect the adding comedy elements with horror. Jawbreakers is hilarious. I'm telling you, it could have been a horror movie. It could have been, well, I guess it was kind of a horror movie if you really think about it, like Techno says. Cinderella says, Devil is so good. Cinderella also says, I have reoccurring nightmares in elevators because of this. I mean, honestly, me too. But ladies and gentlemen, Hellcats and Hellhounds, this is the end of the stream. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. If you haven't noticed recently, we just do random live streams. Some of them are planned, some of them are not. Some of them are literally me recording a video while I talk to you guys, which is really, that's my favorite way to do it, right? I love making content for you guys, but I rather make the content with you guys in the stream and we can talk after I make the content. So very good, very cool way to get interactive here in the Hell Zone. And I love you guys so much. Everybody that was in the chat today, May Ann, Techno Wizard, Anthony, Hell Queen Jazzy, all you guys, thank you so much. For Cody, I see you. LJ, I just seen you with the hey. Love you guys so much. There will be more live streams probably today, maybe tomorrow. Just make sure you have notifications turned on. If you have those posts turned on, you will never miss a moment in the Hell Zone. And make sure to check out our Patreon and our Cash App. And we have some really cool merch. All that will be in the bio. Ladies and gentlemen, Hellcats Nouns, this has been Friday 13, 2009. Is it the best in the franchise? I don't know. That's up for you guys to judge. See you guys later. Peace. Get me the hell out of here.